Hi, it's Joel, and this week there's more evidence, compelling evidence, that the cost of living is rising faster than the official data tells us. So we've launched the latest phase of our campaign asking the Australian government to review how it measures the cost of living, particularly the Consumer Price Index, that crucial bit of data which is reported on every 3 months, which informs everything from government fiscal policy to the RBA's monetary policy and interest rates. It influences wages, pensions, the whole lot. The new information this week comes from an investigation we've conducted with the Frugal Grocery app. Now, Frugal Groceries scrapes the websites of Coles and Woolies every week to see what their prices are and what their latest specials are. And so they have this fantastic data trove of the price of every product, 14 to 15,000 products on the websites of Coles and Woolies every week over the past year and more. We asked them to have a look at February 2021 versus February 2022 grocery prices to see how overall grocery prices have changed, but also which particular products have gone up more than others, and the results were, in some cases, really quite amazing. So the overall price increase was around 2.6% across every product at Coles and Woolies. Now that alone is significant because the ABS tells us in the Consumer Price Index that groceries or food has gone up by 1.9% in the past year. So there's a discrepancy there already. We're also being told by the supermarkets that inflation is coming through into shelf prices. There have been some increases, they've said, in the last few months, but certainly they haven't told us that the prices across the board have gone up by 2.6% in the past year. So we're coming off a higher base already than we've been told so far. But when you look at particular categories, some categories are up by 7.7% on average. That's the drinks category, which is by far the worst. Fruit and veg up by 5% in that category, and also pantry goods on average up by 5%. And then dig a little deeper into particular products, and what you find is you've got 2 litre Fanta bottles at Coles up 94% year on year. 2 litre Coca-Cola bottles at Coles and Woolies up an average of 55% year on year. Instant coffee, Moccona, Nescafe Gold up 50 to 74% year on year. And then there's things like diced beef, 22% up. Basic beef mince, what should be the cheapest beef mince, up 14%. Canned goods, baked beans and tin spaghetti up 21%. And canned fruit is in the same basket, and also oils, vegetable oils, canola oils, that sort of thing, 19% increase year on year. So what are the two main takeaways, I think, from this new data? Well, one is that grocery prices are going up much faster than the official data suggests. The government probably doesn't know this. We need to let them know, and that's why we've launched the latest phase of our campaign, calling on the Australian government to urgently review the CPI. You can sign that petition and join that campaign at One Big Switch on the One Big Switch website. Hundreds of people have done it in the past day, and we'd love to get thousands of names on that petition so that we can really push that case. The other big takeaway for me from this data has been that we're effectively taxing the poor. I mean, let's be honest about who's buying soft drink, instant coffee, canned food, and these, and basic beef mince. For example, premium beef mince hasn't gone up by as much as basic beef mince. So it really is those products that are being bought by people who are trying to buy cheap groceries. They're the ones that are really getting slugged by probably a double-digit increase across their grocery bill in the past year if they're buying a lot of these products that we've identified. So that is a major problem. It's hiding the real cost of living increase for these groups of people. And across the board, it's hiding the true cost of living increase. It's on top of the evidence we unveiled last week, thanks to Impact Economics and Policy, which found that because the CPI doesn't include the housing boom from the past year or the boom in regional rents, it's also underreporting the cost of living for anybody who's tried to buy a house or rent in regional Australia in the past year. There's example after example after example coming out. We'll keep building the case and identifying these discrepancies where we can, because we think there's a major problem at the moment with official cost of living data, and we think that the government is probably blind to just how tough things are getting out there in the community for people, because the official data isn't telling them the whole story. If you've had to fill up a petrol tank this week, or you've driven past one of those big signs saying $2.20, you probably nearly fell out of your chair. Well, it's headed for $2.50, they reckon, and that's because of what's going on in the Ukraine, number of other factors. But petrol's just one example of how the cost of living in the next 6 months to a year is going to be very, very tough for a lot of Australians. And we need to get the measurement right, because if we don't get the measurement right, the numbers inaccurate, doesn't tell the full story, and government just won't act in the way that they should to respond to it. So please sign our petition if you haven't yet. Share this video so that other people can hear about it, and hopefully they can join the campaign as well. We'll be back next week with an update, and stay safe, keep calm, carry on.